An accident caused both Pei Yan and me to lose our memories. He forgot that he had been changing lovers frequently, and I forgot that I had been keeping young men around. We became as loving as newlyweds again, until the impoverished student I had been supporting came to find me. He told me he was dying. His only wish was to have a wedding with me. At that moment, Pei Yan, who had been pretending to be magnanimous, finally cracked and ground out, "Damn it." When I first woke up, I was confused. I vaguely heard Pei Yan arguing with someone. He was always reserved, never losing his composure like that. A pair of watery deer-like eyes met me, a girl who looked like a student. She seized on me like a lifeline. "Sister Xiaoxiao, you're finally awake. Brother Pei Yan has forgotten me. What should I do? Please tell him what our relationship is." Pei Yan dragged her out and had her watched. He sat by me, speaking carefully. "Xiaoxiao, don't believe that crazy woman. There's nothing between us. From my parents, I learned that 3 months ago, Pei Yan and I had gone out on a boat and fallen into the sea. Miraculously, we survived. But we both lost our memories. Our memories stopped at our wedding day. We had been married for 3 years now. Pei Yan had woken up a month earlier and had stayed by my side, taking care of me. But my parents' expressions were cold as they told me this, showing no concern for their son-in-law. Seeing I no longer resisted, Pei Yan pulled me into his embrace. I leaned against him, pushing aside my doubts, and cheerfully talked about starting our new life together. When we returned to our marital home, it was eerily clean. Pei Yan said he'd had it cleaned, but I felt unsettled, as if 2 souls inhabited my body. Shadows in the mirror seemed to tear at each other. I began to wonder, had our 3 years of marriage really been as happy as my parents claimed? The next day, I called my best friend Suki. Nurse answered. I went to the private hospital and found Suki in a coma from multiple stab wounds, desperately needing a heart transplant with no donor available. The nurse said that last time I came, I had already found a suitable donor and just needed to wait 3 months. But I couldn't remember. I had to regain my memory. While Pei Yan was out, I searched for traces of the past 3 years. All I found were couples' photos and anniversary gifts. Nothing more. How could a place where we lived for 3 years have so few traces? Unless someone had deliberately erased them. I searched the study and found a torn and pieced together note in the bottom corner of a bookcase. On it were the blurred words "divorce agreement." My blood ran cold. So we had already reached that point. That evening, the girl returned. She said her name was Lin Ruo, Pei Yan's personal secretary hired before his memory loss. She sneered that I was being kept in the dark. Pei Yan and I weren't ever as loving as they made out. Pei Yan came back and harshly ordered her to leave, threatening to send her to the head of the Shang group. As she was dragged away, she cried out, "When you regain your memory, you'll regret this." I clutched the torn divorce papers behind my back and asked Pei Yan if he was hiding something from me. His face went pale. He looked away flustered and after a long pause said, "Don't overthink it." I didn't press further. I left him outside the door, shutting it behind me. I began secretly gathering evidence, quietly hiring a private detective. Pei Yan became clingy and insecure. One day, I used a follow-up appointment as an excuse to shake off his men and went alone to see Suki. The nurse said Suki wouldn't last another month. I held her cold hand and wept. The hospital room door opened gently. A thin, pale young man stood there, clean-featured and gentle. He carried a small cake. Looking at me, his eyes were soft and full of concern. Though it was my first time seeing him, he felt strangely familiar. He said softly, "Sister, you used to say that when you're sad, eating something sweet helps." That word "sister" unlocked fragments of memory. He was Sunan, a student I had been sponsoring. He told me he had terminal brain cancer and didn't have long. His rare blood type matched Suki's. Before my memory loss, I had signed a donation agreement with him when he died. His heart would go to her. Then he told me about the past 3 years. We were never a happy couple. In the first year of marriage, Pei Yan started seeing other women's secretaries, assistants, partners, daughters, one after another. I fought and cried, but my parents' company depended entirely on Pei Yan's group. They only told me to endure, that as long as I kept the title of Mrs. Pei, it was fine. Heartbroken, I gave up and started doing the same. I used his secondary card to support young men. Sunan was one of them, the one I kept the longest. 3 months ago, Suki was attacked. Lin Ruo had been with Pei Yan for half a year and was pregnant. She wanted to take my place and came to provoke me. Suki confronted her, and Lin Ruo's bodyguard stabbed Suki. To protect Lin Ruo and her unborn child, Pei Yan used all his connections to cover it up. He even cut off my parents' funding to force me to sign a statement of forgiveness. Driven to the edge, I drafted divorce papers and planned to end things with him. The day we went to negotiate on the yacht, we argued violently and both fell into the sea. That was the truth. No happiness, only betrayal, scheming, and blood. Sunan said his only wish was to put on a suit and have a wedding with me, even a fake one. Looking at him, I nodded firmly. He returned to the villa. Pei Yan was cooking, pretending to be magnanimous. Sunan said directly, "I'm Sister Zikosui's protege. I'm dying. My only wish is to have a wedding with her." Pei Yan cracked. His plate crashed to the floor. He cursed and punched Sunan. I slapped Pei Yan hard. "You never lost your memory at all, did you?" He admitted it. "Yes. I remembered everything 2 months ago. But so what? You forgetting is good. Those 3 years were a mistake. Let's just pretend nothing happened and start over." When I brought up Suki and Lin Ruo, his eyes went cold. He had his bodyguards throw Sunan out, then locked me in the master bedroom, putting me under house arrest. I found an old phone hidden in a secret compartment of my vanity. Before losing my memory, I had obtained a complete recording of Lin Ruo hiring someone to attack Suki, along with banked rants for records. I had backed everything up on a USB drive and given it to Sunan. He contacted a private detective and legal journalists, submitting the evidence to the police. The next morning, Pei Yan brought a wedding dress and planned to force me abroad. Sirens wailed outside. Soon and lead armed police through the doors. Pei Yan was arrested for covering up a violent crime, illegal detention, and economic crimes. Lin Ruo was caught at the airport and confessed everything to reduce her sentence. As Pei Yan was led away, his eyes red, he asked, "Wouldn't it have been better if we had really lost our memories?" I replied, "A rotten apple is black inside even if you peel it." You were over long ago. After Pei Yan's downfall, my parents were also investigated for tax fraud. I rushed to the hospital. Sunan was at the end. His cancer spread everywhere. He refused intubation. I held his cold hand. He had brought a pair of rings made from soda can abs, the ones I had crafted myself last night, while sitting in the hospital corridor. I slipped one onto his ring finger and handed him the other. With his last strength, he slid it onto mine. He smiled and said, "Sister, I'm not greedy. I just wanted to be your only little dog." The monitor flatlined. His hand fell. In that sterile hospital room, without flowers or a priest, I completed his wedding. 3 months later, Suki's transplant was a success. Sunan's heart beat strongly in her chest. The rejection was minimal. I discharged Suki. The sun was bright. I looked down at the tab ring still on my finger. The bad accounts were turned over. A new life had just begun.